All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of God, Greed, Lies, and Michelle. David E. Taylor, you're a piece of shit. And this is just going to be kind of a David E. Taylor update, guys. David's hiding. Has been. Will be. Continue to be hiding. I mean, everything he's done pretty much. Like sitting back looking at everything, what's going on, it's his cult is crumbling, everybody. David's cult is no doubt crumbling. He can't, the 30 years of lies are starting to catch up with him now at this point. There's so much negative social media attention out there on him that it's impossible for him to outrun everything. It really is. As hard as he's trying to, the more he tries to outrun this, the harder it's going to be. And with the crumbling house of cards, it's like one thing people ask here a lot. One thing people ask is, why isn't he in jail? That's a good question, right? Well, the reason he's not in jail is because what the law is and what we think are two different things completely still here, right? But however, this is kind of what I want to get at. This is, I don't even know where I'm really going with this video today. It's just, people, I think the biggest question that people ask is, why hasn't anything been done? Why hasn't anything been done about David? Once again, what the law is and what we think, two different things. Which is why, and this is kind of be about filing fraud against any tax-exempt organization. People think, oh, you're just wasting your time and this and that. Actually, no, I'm not fucking wasting my time. Because I get replies from the IRS. And I've set up fraud forms for people to send to the IRS to report these people. The only way these people will be stopped is if you get their tax exemption status taken away. It's the only way. There is no other way to stop these people except by getting their tax-exempt status taken away from them. Once you do that, they have to start paying money to the government like we do. So David's using the tax-exempt status, to launder money from the IRS. That's for sure. And again, people sit back, wonder why he's not been caught. Well, because nobody's filed fraud against him. That's the only way they're going to get him, is if we get fraud on him, guys. They're not just going to go knock on this asshole's door and be like, hey, David Taylor live here? No, they need some sort of paper trail, and he's got one. He's got one now for sure. I encourage everybody to help file fraud against him. If you want the links, let me know. I'll set them up. But David needs to be held accountable. David really needs to be held accountable for all the fraud and shit that he's been doing. Why does he switch in all these names and numbers around, guys? Why? That's a big question. Anybody ever question that? Why? I do. I do every day. I question why all the tax ID numbers, why all the name changes, why all the addresses. It's turning more out to be a money. Again, he's committing fraud, guys. I urge everybody to get involved. But he says, oh, this guy needs to be in jail. Well, yeah, get involved. Get involved. Help us. Help us. I have these filled out for you guys. I've actually updated these, okay? This is a 3949 right here. And this is called a 13909. Tax-exempt organization complaint referral. These are the guys that make the tax-exempt determinations right here. These guys, right? These are actually filled out on the channel now too, guys. Anybody that wants these, let me know. I'll give you the link for them. But I highly recommend that you get involved. Because the more we send these to the IRS, the less they can ignore us. Then the more attention they'll pay to David. They have to. They can't ignore us. We're fucking taxpayers. For them to not do their job, I mean, that's just a dereliction of duty in my opinion. So, this was just going to be kind of a 5-minute short about how to file, how to get involved. Why why he hasn't been caught. This is why. Nobody's filed fraud against him. Nobody stood back and said there's something going on here, except for people who like are coming out of the cult and ready to come forward. You know, maybe Vicky Yohe and a few others, but nobody's really come out and put in the effort that we all have here, guys, to make this cult known to the world. File fraud. Help me. I'll help you. It's, again, he's not in jail because nobody's filed fraud against him, guys. He is committing fraud. Help me. Help me file fraud against him. You want to see him stop? People want to see this guy in jail, see him in prison? Well, guess what? We got to go about it the right way. Help me file fraud against him.